Hi, my name is Anna and this is the Book Dreamer Sally. Today I'm going to talk about the series that I have started but not finished yet, and I want to finish in 2021. The series A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, for which this is the first book. There are 4 books out at the moment. The 5th one is coming out in April, so I'll participate in the Akota read-along organized by Mollie from Mind of Mollie. I'll link her down below to see if you want to participate. This was the read for December, and then A Court of Mist and Fury in January, and one per month until April when the new book comes out. Miss Peregrines' Home for Peculiar Children by Ransom Riggs. I'm not sure if there are 4 or 5. I believe there are 5 out at the moment. But I recently got the second one. I was stuck, so I couldn't finish the series because I couldn't get the second one. It was like out of stock everywhere in the country. It was just impossible. So until I got that one, I wouldn't be able to get to this series. I already have the 3rd one too, but not the 4th. But we still have time to get to these. I don't want to overwhelm myself yet. But yes, I want to finish this series in 2021. The Cemetery of Forgotten Books by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. He died this year, and he wrote The Shadow of the Wind, which became quite famous, but it is a series of 4 books. The Shadow of the Wind, The Angel's Game, The Prisoner of Heaven, and The Labyrinth of the Spirits. And I started The Labyrinth of the Spirits, but as I had read the other books more than a year before, I realized I had to put it down and reread the whole series. I reread this one recently. I believe it was November, November. And I decided to reread the rest, so second one will be for January if possible. The Illuminated Files by Kay Christoph and Amy Kaufman. This one is a series of 3 books: Illuminated, Gemina, and Obsidio. I believe Obsidio is the second one. I'm not sure which one is the second one. But the thing is that I got stuck because I could get Illuminated in English in Colombia, but I couldn't get Obsidio or Gemina. So I've added them to my Amazon wish list, but I haven't been able to order them yet. Because now I need the trilogy. I need the whole thing. Because the first one, I lent the first one, I gave the first one to a friend of mine and decided to try and get the whole series at some point. The Pandava Quartet by Roshani Chokshi. The first and the second ones can be obtained in Colombian English. I like to read in the original language if possible. The first one being Arusha and the End of Time, and then I already have the second one. The 3rd one just came out not long ago. I believe it was October, November, but then I cannot get it in the country yet, so I have to wait a bit. And the 4th one hasn't come up yet. I don't know if it has a date. So I'll see if I can finish it this year or if I have to wait for the following, but I definitely want to move forward on this one. Spellslinger by Sebastian de Castell. I did start Spellslinger this year, but didn't continue. I have to buy the books on ebook. So I just read the first one, didn't have time to get to the other ones, and I really hope I can get to those the following year. I think there are 6. If you want to make sure, go to Jadey's channel from Jadey Ray Reads. I'm sure she has said that a couple of times. She loves Sebastian de Castell. I actually started reading it to her recommendation. Nevermore series by Jessica Townsend. This one is composed of 3 books. It's a trilogy. First one is Nevermore, The Trials of Morrigan Crow. The second one is Wondersmith. The 3rd one, Hollowpox, which came out this year. And I couldn't get the others in the country in English, so I have to start thinking of getting them in ebook. Although children's books are I'd rather have them in a physical copy. So yeah, I have to wait to a bit to read this one, but I definitely want to finish it because everyone went crazy with Hollow cards. So, and I really loved Nevermore. Percy Jackson and the Olympians. This series includes 5 books. Is one of the Percy Jackson series. Is the one that started me into it. I'm not sure if it's the first one or not, by Rick Riordan. And it is a middle grade that explains very nicely to young people the whole Greek mythology. Like everything, every mythological being from Greek mythology is in here. And it is an adventure story, so nicely said that once I had read the first one, this is the second one, The Sea of Monsters, but once I read the first one, I decided I was not going to stop until I read all Percy Jackson books. The Pages and Co. series by Anna James. It is a middle grade and it became my favorite middle grade of all time. Like ever. It's amazing. It's again a book about books, so we love it. Who doesn't? And it's so beautifully done. And it has such an environment that involves you and really gets you into the story and springs your imagination that there's no way to dislike it if you like reading. And I read the first one that's called Tilly and the Book Wanderers, and so completely fell in love that I really need to finish that series. Frostheart, which will be a trilogy. And it was really, the first one was released in 2019, second one was 2020. This is the first one. The second one is Escape from Aurora, and we'll see what Jamie Littler is going to bring us. He's the author of this series, and it's, trust me, an amazing series that I don't even know how to describe. It is the story of a child whose parents are supposed to be dead, but then he discovers they're like, they went in a voyage and nobody really knows if they are dead or not, nobody's sure. And he goes on a journey to try and find his parents. He has the ability of communicating with the monsters feared by everyone else. So it seems as if he's calling them, and everyone hates him because he's calling the monsters that could jeopardize the whole community. So basically he feels not wanted, he is not wanted within the community, and he decides to go on that journey with people who just come to visit. My other favorite middle grade is Amelia Fang. The Amelia Fang series is by Laura Ellen Anderson, and oh my gosh, I mean, it is again so atmospheric. It's the story of a vampire girl who lives in the dark world. There's a dark world and the world of light, and the people, the beings, I cannot say that people, the beings on the dark side are scared of color, light, and they are told that these beings of the light are evil and could even kill them. So, you know, it's like as everything is presented to us, good and evil, but it's so masterfully done. It shows you that not everything that looks bad is really, that you should get to know people before rejecting them. It is amazing. It's a beautiful story of friendship and love and acceptance to others. Ark of Assad by Neil Schusterman. I read this one and I completely fell in love immediately. I have no idea why I haven't continued with the series. Well, yes, I have a serious case of FOMO, so I decided to participate in 2-minute readathons, and out of the blue, they don't fit somehow. So, yeah, that was the issue, maybe. So, Scythe is political, which I love. It makes you reflect on life and everything, on how you live it. And it's a dystopian book about a time in which humanity has overcome every natural form of dying. So humans cannot die anymore. And there's a group of people, the Scythes, who are the only ones who can decide who dies, because they actually have to kill them. They don't like the term kill, but let's say kill them for now. And they have high moral standards, but you know, there's always a couple of rotten apples along the way. I don't want to tell you anything else, but trust me, I was shocked, positively shocked by this book. Made me reflect all the time. It gave me many surprises, plot twists, and there's a romance in these, but it's not the main thing in the book. I just love this. I love it. If you like dystopian, and I love dystopian books. I think I've never said it on my channel. Okay, I love dystopian. This is a must. The Winter Night Trilogy. The first one is The Bear and the Nightingale. The second one is The Girl in the Tower. And I always forget the name of the last one. But, it's a trilogy. And it is by Catherine Arden. And to me, she did a very good job at retelling Russian folklore. But I recently watched a video from G, from Book Roast, I'll link her down below too, who states that there are many Russian stereotypes that don't really feed and are not positive. So I'll investigate further about this one, but I really want to finish this trilogy. I'm in the middle of the second book right now. I hope to finish it this month. So I'm participating in the read-along with Meg from Meg with Books. Link her down below. Wizards of Wands. This is the same issue that happened with Nevermore. I could get this one in English here, but not the other ones. Tried to find out about the Wizards of Wands Twice Magic, which is the second book, but it was not possible. It was way too expensive to order it. So this one especially, I would very much like to read in a physical copy, just because, let me show you. I mean, the book is stunning. There are great illustrations I loved. So, yes, I'll see how it goes. I'll see if I can get it at some point if the price goes down. It is a magical middle grade by Cressida Cowell. And I cannot tell you anything else. But what I can tell you is that there are witches and warriors, and a warrior makes friends with the witch, and they cannot talk to each other, they cannot relate to each other in any way, but they make friends by chance, and they start a journey of adventures. There are so many magical creatures, so many adventures, and so much magic. I love the magic system too. The Maze Runner. There are, I believe, 4 books in this one. I know the last one is the King Order. The second one is the Scorch Trials, I believe. I don't remember the name of the third one, but I really like this one. It's a dystopian too, like Scythe, and it is by James Dasher. It's, I think most of you will know the story because it was made a film. But The Maze Runner is a dystopian story about a moment in which the world is basically a disaster, nearly ended. And there's a group of teenagers that suddenly appear inside a labyrinth. They seem to be specifically chosen, and they're put into a labyrinth, and they will need to have different tasks. They organize themselves. Each group has a different task, and the maze runner decides he wants to become a maze runner. So this is a maze of the Minotaur. So I don't know how it will continue. I really love this one. There were plot twists too. If you like a good plot twist, maybe you would be interested in this one. And it kept my heart beating so fast. So I'm quite interested in continuing with the series. Talking Jack the Ripper, same issue. I cannot get the rest of the books in here. I think not even in Spanish. These ones, I haven't seen them either. So it's by Kerry Maniscalco, and it is a mystery book with a big romance in it. I love the romance. Absolutely love the mystery. I really like the writing style. She has been strongly criticized for that, but it suits me quite well. So yeah, I really loved everything. The writing style, the romance, the pace. I have no problem with slow-paced books at all. I don't need things to be happening like as in movement. Legacy of Orisha by Tommy Adeyemi. I've heard not such good things about the second one, but I still want to read it. This is the first one, Children of Blood and Bone, and the second one is Children of Virtue and Vengeance. I already got it on my shelves, so I cannot wait to get to it next year. And one of my bookish resolutions is actually focused on finishing books and finishing series. I have some unfinished books still. And I think at least a couple of them are going to go on unfinished into the next year. So I'll restart them in that case. But let's get back into topic. It's the story of Zelly, who's fighting to try and get back magic to her people. The Orishas were forbidden many years before to practice their magic, which is basically killing them. They have to try and do the exercises or the practices hidden from the world. They cannot get positions of power. I never got to the area and with the excuse of having suffered from a trauma by some Orisha, force them into just becoming the poor, staying hidden, basically dying, killed many of their people in riots. This book, I believe, is a history of black people. I don't want to tell you anything else, but there's a lot of suffering. It is a YA, although there are beautiful things as well. There's the recovery of the whole magic system. I wouldn't want to give you any spoilers, but the magic system is amazing. It is quite atmospheric, gets you into the story, you can even imagine the places, and you can even relate these to current events. The Falco Series by Arturo Pérez Reverte. He's a Spanish writer, and he's one of my favorite writers of all time, but I didn't like this one that much. I gave it 3 stars, it was meh. It was fine, it was okay. I mean, it's not a bad rating, but it was low for what I would normally have given one of his books. It's okay, but also falls into certain stereotypes about German people who, and I don't know, I found it was lacking some depth, but I liked it enough to try and continue with the trilogy. Lock and Key. I got this one to the recommendation of Steph from Steph Loves. I'll link her down below. It's a graphic novel series by Joe Hill. If you don't know, he's Stephen King's son. And Gabriel Rodriguez is the illustrator. And I love the illustration. So I found it quite interesting, mysterious, and it's a horror story. Quite interesting though. Dying to read the other ones, but again, guess what? I cannot get the second one in the country in English, or in Spanish, or at all. So yeah, I have an issue getting this one, and I'm really dying to continue. I think there are already like 7 or 8 tomes. The trilogy of the White City, in Spanish, La Trilogía de la Ciudad Blanca. The first one is El Silencio de la Ciudad Blanca, The Silence of the White City, but I couldn't get to the second one because it was out of stock. I loved it. I found it pretty accurate, forensically speaking, if you can say that. And it is a thriller a very well-written thriller by Eva García Sáenz de Urturi, in which there's a bit of interesting romance, and there's a serial killer committing a series of murders with a very specific MO. And the way they discover who it is, their perils, their police people investigating the murder, and there's also like private investigators somewhere along the line. And this killer is such an interesting figure. I mean, I love my thrillers, so I highly recommend this one. Just from the first one, I have no idea what I'll say after reading the second and the third. One of my favorite, if not my favorite thriller of all times. It's Reina Roja, Red Queen is the first one. It's by Juan Gómez Jurado. Juan Gómez Jurado for the Spanish speakers. And first one is Reina Roja, Red Queen. Second one is Loba Negra, Black Wolf. And the third one is White King. It came out a couple of months ago, but I haven't been able to get to it. I have no idea if it's going to get in the country, but in Spain books are relatively expensive compared to England, for example. So yeah, it's even harder for me to order it. I have it on my Amazon wish list again, but you know, time will tell when I'll be able to get to that one, or if they're ever going to bring it to the country. I've asked the editorial a few times in social media and never received that reply. I read the first one in December 2018, completely fell in love immediately. It got here in June 2019. I bought the physical copy. First one was an ebook because it wasn't here. Then I reread the book in physical copy. I barely reread books, so you'll get an idea of how much I liked it. And then this one got here, so I reread the first one and read the second one. And, well, haven't been able to get to the third one yet, which is the last one. So I'll see how it goes, but I'm really dying to get into it. So, Penguin, if you're watching this, please reply. Please let me know, so I can make plans and save money to get to the third one. And finally, the last one is The Analyst by John Katzenbach. I read the first one. I believe it's just a duology. I read the first one years ago, but for some reason I believe I found the second one quite expensive. Then I tried to wait a bit and it was still expensive, so I've been postponing reading it. This one I read the first one in Spanish, so I don't mind reading the second one in Spanish too. But yeah, I haven't been able to get to that book yet because other books got on the way, financially speaking. So, sorry, Katzenbach. But I really want to. I mean, The Analyst is a thriller based on a psychological analyst, a therapist, who gets somehow involved in the story of a killer. I cannot tell you much because then I'll spoil the thriller. But the thing is that he gets threatened by the killer at some point and makes a plan to escape. So I hope you liked this video. Maybe you could get some good recommendations from these ones. Let me know if you have finished the series. I have started and not finished yet. Let me know what you thought about them. And if there are any series you started but have not finished and would like to finish next year. I hope you're having a wonderful time, and I hope to see you tomorrow here. Bye!